When life feels frozen, you go to work. You reply, "I'm fine." You scroll through social media. But deep inside, you feel like your life has been paused. As if someone pressed the brakes on everything you dreamed of. Relationships? Delayed. Marriage? Nowhere close. Career? Just existing. It feels like life forgot your address. But what if I told you? It's not a pause. It's a preparation. The test of invisible growth. Allah doesn't grow roses in plain sight. He buries seeds. And the seed doesn't scream while growing underground. Neither should you. Silence isn't absence. Delay isn't denial. He is watching. He is building something in the silence of your soul. What you can't see is being prepared silent. Signs of divine orchestration. Ever wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason? Feel uneasy in places you used to love? Get emotional over something you can't explain? Those are not just feelings. That's divine coding. Allah is aligning things behind the scenes. What you think is stillness is the fluttering of wings. About to take flight, that sudden restlessness isn't random. When you feel like running away, but you don't know from what, it's usually a signal that something within is transforming. Your soul is being moved before your feet ever are. You are closer than you think. Your next step is not a coincidence. Imagine planning your life in one city and waking up to find yourself moving somewhere you never imagined. It's not chaos. It's choreography. You're not lost. You're being rerouted to something better than you asked for. Why familiar things suddenly lose meaning? Your favorite cafe doesn't hit the same. The friends you used to laugh with feel distant. Even your favorite playlist starts sounding hollow. That's not sadness. That's graduation. You've outgrown your current reality. And your soul knows it. A new season begins with any quiet shift in the soul. You can't quite explain it, but something is moving inside. You feel a sacred tension, a readiness, like your spirit is packing for a trip you haven't booked. Echo of unspoken prayers. Do you remember the night you prayed in silence? When words failed, but your heart cried out. Allah heard you. Not just the words, but the ache behind them. And while you forgot, He remembered. The moment you're feeling is not just emotion, a premonition from the unseen. There are no coincidences with Allah, only divine arrangements. The stirring in your soul? That's the echo of a reply you didn't know was already coming. Your soul is getting ready. The tension, the restlessness, the tears you can't explain. Your soul is shedding its old skin, not to suffer, but to prepare for the arrival of what you once believed was impossible. The geography of destiny, a move not chosen by logic. It's not about packing suitcases. It's about emptying old versions of yourself. When Allah moves you, it's not because your job called. It's because your destiny did. When Allah moves, you without permission, you didn't plan this. You didn't even want this. But suddenly, you're booking a flight, resigning, or saying goodbye. That's not you being impulsive. That's your soul following divine navigation. That person you're looking for is already in motion. Parallel healing is real. What if I told you? Someone in another city is healing too. They've cried like you, prayed like you, searched like you, and they don't know it yet, but they're being drawn to you. They're not perfect, but they're meant for you. Allah doesn't pair perfect with perfect. He pairs wounds that can heal together. You're not meeting a hero. You're meeting someone who also rebuilt themselves in the dark, just like you. Allah's timing is divine precision. Why nothing made sense. Until now, have you ever looked back and realized, if I got what I wanted then, I would have ruined it? That's the wisdom of divine delay. Allah waits until you're ready, and until what you asked for is also ready. The answer that arrives after surrender. Most du'as are answered not when we beg the loudest, but when we surrender the deepest. When you let go, Allah shows you He never did. You were not waiting. You were becoming the season that transformed you. Years you called wasted? They weren't. They built the version of you who's it, finally able to receive what's coming. You're no longer waiting. You're blooming. Why the delay was actually mercy. If Allah gave you what you asked for when you were broken, you would have broken it too. Mercy sometimes hides in the wait. It's not just a love story. It's a divine encounter, meeting a soul, not a character. This isn't a Netflix romance. This is divine synchronization. You're not just meeting a name, a job title, or a personality. You're meeting a soul Allah has been refining, just like yours. A soul that mirrors your scars, complements your pace, and speaks your spiritual language without needing translation. They may not look like your type. They may not enter with fireworks, but they'll carry the peace your heart didn't know it was craving. A type of love that makes sujud feel deeper, the kind that makes you thank Allah before you thank them. How Allah pairs wounds with remedies. Your wounds aren't obstacles. They're entry points. Entry points to compassion, to tenderness, to understanding. Allah doesn't give you a partner to impress. He gives you someone who reminds you of Him, someone who doesn't fix your pain, but walks with you through it, hand in hand toward healing. Your trauma didn't make you hard to love. It made you see love clearly. The invisible becomes the inevitable. Why you wake up restless, ever feel a deep urge to clean your space, donate clothes, organize files, delete old contacts for no apparent reason? That's not just spring cleaning. That's spiritual preparation. Your soul knows change is coming before your calendar does. The chaos you feel is often a signal that the next chapter is trying to begin. But the old one won't let go. When coincidences refuse to leave you, keep seeing the same number. You keep hearing the same ayah. You keep bumping into strangers who say things you needed to hear. Coincidences? No, they're breadcrumbs from Allah, signs for the awake, messages for the trusting, reminders that you are not forgotten, and what's meant for you is already walking toward you. Let go of the need to control. Stop trying to predict the date, name, city. Let go of the obsession to predict when and where your breakthrough will come. Allah doesn't operate on human timelines or Google Maps. His ways are higher, more poetic, and far more merciful. The heart that surrenders always receives faster than the heart that calculates. What it means to truly trust Allah. True tawakkul isn't sitting idle. It's doing your part and trusting that Allah will move everything, time, people, opportunities, to meet you at the exact second He planned before you were even born. You don't have to chase what Allah has already written with your name on it. Prepare your inner self for the outer shift. Healing before meeting. Didn't wait for the relationship, the job, or the miracle to fix you. Become the person who no longer needs it to feel whole. And that's when it'll arrive. Whole attracts whole. And healed hearts attract Allah's mercy in waves. Detachment before arrival. Before Allah gives you what you want, He often detaches you from what you thought you needed. This isn't punishment. This is purification. Let go of what's dying, so your hands are open to receive what's destined. You are not leaving. You are being sent, not escaping, but elevating. Sometimes a move feels like an escape. You want to leave the place where your heart broke, where dreams failed, where things fell apart. But what if you're not escaping failure, but being elevated into purpose? When Allah removes you, it's to replant you in soil that can sustain your growth. While your presence is needed elsewhere, there are people in another city who will be changed by your presence. Children who will see what kindness looks like because you smiled at them. A soulmate who'll find their answer in your voice. You think you're wandering, but you're being deployed. Conclusion. Embrace the divine movements. So if you're standing in a moment of stillness, if you feel delayed, invisible, or forgotten, Please know, your life is not on hold. Allah is moving every atom in your favor. People you haven't met are already on their way to you. Doors you didn't knock on are unlocking. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you don't even know exist. Trust the stillness, because behind the silence, Allah is orchestrating your soul's most beautiful chapter. Don't rush the symphony of Allah. He doesn't write rushed stories. He composes symphonies. And when it's your moment, every heartbeat will feel like divine music. Until then, breathe, trust, heal. And keep walking.